Hey guys, welcome back to the Breaking.Bread.Podcast. We're back with another episode of Chat Time of the Month. This is Chat Time of the Month Part 2. So, before we get into it, we'll roll the intro.
Put that on that beat, ho.
Welcome. Chat Time of the Month Part 2, Episode 2. I'm Brody. My friends over here, introduce yourselves.
What's up, fam? I'm Freedom.
What's up, brothers and sisters? Francis.
And we've come back with some more topics to discuss and give our opinions on. Once again, this is only our opinions and a safe space for us to talk and share what we have, or share what we think on these topics that we've been given. But before we start those, I was actually driving in the car on the way here, and I was thinking of something we could do. I think probably before every chat time of the month, and I think you two will both agree with it. But on this podcast, we're all about being open and vulnerable, and this is a safe space for us three to, I guess, share knowledge and thoughts. So, question. I got two. It's two questions anyway. But question one: chickens, my brothers.
Yo.
How are we?
You go first, my man.
Me. I'm good. I think you both know I've had a good week. Really.
We'll let us speak about it.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Tell us about your week, my brother.
So spending a couple of weeks with the All Black Sevens.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. It's. I think in the past I've had one of the topics I'm going to talk about. I think I've tried to diminish my own achievements, so to kind of feel proud of this one, and just no matter how long I'm in there for, to be, I guess, recognized and is a good feeling, and it's something that I'm proud of. It came out of the blue, so answers to prayers,
Yes,
brothers. But yeah, I'm good. Grateful for you two, as always. Moving in good directions. I feel like I'm also being around, I'm drawing good people, better people for me, to me. So yeah, really excited about that.
Yeah, man. Like we said, congratulations on the new gig. Obviously, it's been hiding for a little bit, but a buzzy story about how it came about was when you were telling me when we were in the after training in the showers.
Yo,
You said you had been praying, and then probably praying for something totally opposite, and then as God does,
yeah, that's it.
He goes in the opposite direction.
That's
so,
it, bro.
Again, man, proud of you, happy for you, and it's always good to see our people in these spaces doing well for themselves. But yeah, to answer your question, overall, had an awesome week. We've had a good time the other day.
Yeah.
At a seminar. What is it called?
Yeah, what was it?
Te Whatu Ora.
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
but what do they call it? Like a symposium? Is it a symposium?
Well, I would have just called it like a seminar.
Yeah, me too. I would have called it a seminar.
That's a simple word for it, seminar.
But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. Again, for us as a team and as a collective, we're going in the right direction. I think we've had a lot of positive feedback from not only the chat time of the month, but a lot of the podcasts that we've done so far. So yeah, it's been an awesome week. First week of the school holidays, so been a little bit
been a bit busy, eh?
busy at home.
Busy than usual.
No food at home. But again, just happy to be here and happy to be at the end of the week again. So yeah, yourself?
Yeah,
how's
good.
your week?
Week's been good. But like you said, with the opportunities that we've been, I guess, presented, it's been happy week, enjoyable week, and happy it's Friday, man. So nearing the weekend. So
Cups full.
Yeah. Anyways, question 2, 3 gratefuls.
Ooh.
Who's going first?
You want me to go first? Or?
You go first.
I'll go first on this one. I'm grateful for, again, wife and kids, my family, all my family. My dad, my grandparent, my grandmother who's in Samoa at the moment, all my aunties, uncles, cousins. I got heaps of my cousins in that, and family that are coming over for my auntie's unveiling and a little family reunion. So looking forward to that. So always grateful for family and friends. I'll put those in the same category. Grateful for health, mentally, spiritually, physically. Still working on the physical. Might need to do a week over here with my brother here in the sevens camp. Might even be 2. And third thing is just for time. Obviously, I got a good. I'm in a good position with work, and work allows me time, and I'm allowed to spend time with my family during the school holidays. So those are 3 things I'm grateful for.
Nice.
Yep. One thing I'm grateful for is definitely family. I'm not proud of this necessarily, but like I live with mum and dad, so that's been incredibly humbling this year. To be a grown man, but still kind of need my parents' support just to help me get through. So having my parents just be there, be a rock for me, and also my siblings. I've seen them a lot more recently than like normal, which has been like one of those things that you don't question why, you just enjoy it. So that's been one. My family. The second one is people that enhance my mana, my well-being. You two. Obviously, this camp that I went to was great. People at work. And the third thing would be provision of opportunity, food on the table. These are things that I sometimes overlook and take for granted.
You're lucky you elaborated on that, because Bruce looked at you was like,
provision?
What are you seeing?
All I heard was vision.
Yourself?
One, obviously my family, kids, parents, siblings, aunties, uncles, all that. Grateful for them and what they do for me, and especially my kids and my parents and siblings. So family. 2, health, like yourself, health. Grateful to be here, grateful to be able to train, move, gym, do all that stuff, the little things I guess we sometimes take for granted. So that, and 3, I guess this podcast in a way, the people we're able to connect with. I guess it's a platform for us to, I guess, speak our minds, and it's something different. I guess it's something different for myself, something different for, I guess, a kid from Kaitaia or Karawa. But yeah, those are, I guess, the 3 things I'm grateful for. But going into our topics. Anyways, but I think that's a good way we can
start off.
That's me, bro.
So. Hey.
Oh,
wow, shit.
So
look at me. There we go. Yeah, fucking hell. But anyway, we'll move on to our topics, and I'll hand it over to our man here, it's his segment, so we'll hand it over to him.
Our segment.
To take over. So
yeah, sweet. I thought about some topics provided by you guys, and 3 that we came up with for today was tall poppy syndrome, mocking culture in New Zealand, and injuries. So we're going to start off with tall poppy. I guess the first question is just, what does that statement, or what does the word or the phrase tall poppy syndrome mean to you? How would you define it?
You got a thing. You read what it means.
Yeah.
With this,
make sure you understand the words you're reading.
Yeah. Do you just want to read it? Because tall poppy syndrome, when people's conspicuous success elevates or distinguishes them, others can be envious and try to cut them down to size. This is known as tall poppy syndrome, and it's important. It's an important element of New Zealand's culture.
Yeah.
I guess that sort of explains.
What it is.
What it is.
You want me to go? You go.
You go.
I'll go. When we say tall poppy syndrome, I think, do we say it's a New Zealand, like it's part of New Zealand culture? To me, I think it's part of like
I guess it's
island,
everywhere.
Island and Māori culture, I guess when and it's not everyone, but again, like this is some people, like when people are successful, or when people get something,
or doing well,
or doing well, or going well in life. I think you always, like we always say, you always get haters, and those haters are what we call tall poppy syndrome. I think in this country alone, it's pretty bad. I think it might be that way because of how small Auckland is, or like the country is in general. And it's like, have you heard of that that thing about crabs in a bucket?
No.
So like every time a crab goes out, this is fact too. Every time a crab tries to get out of a bucket, the rest of the crabs pull it back in. So It's facts too. So it's pretty worthy.
Sure.
So like, I feel like that's how it is in this country,
Yeah.
or like in New Zealand, I guess, is that every time someone goes on a little bit of a journey to, or like is being successful, or is doing well, or whatever it is, or has received something, you got the rest, everyone pulling them back in.
Because they don't want them to, I guess, go and get the food. Or
Yeah, I don't
sort of
know.
in a way.
I don't know what it is. Like say for example, like if he got how he just got a sevens thing. Like both of us were genuinely happy for the brother, because again, like we know the hard work and the opportunity, like we said, never comes twice, and just stuff like that. Like genuinely happy for the brother, and it was never ever like I could imagine if you had told someone else that, you know, was probably going for a position like that. And remember, he didn't play rugby this whole year. So for a league player to, rugby to league and play the whole of league to get back into the seven circuit, like, you know, I could see like a lot of people like, man, I was trying to go for that position. Why did he get it?
Yeah.
It's always why did they this? Why did they that?
Have you ever like I guess been that person, or like I feel like I have.
Yeah, I definitely have.
I feel like I've been that person. Do you want to speak, like, talk about if, like, you know,
for me personally, I think at a time you when you're going through a few things, I think what tall poppy syndrome has a lot to do with is who you are as a person at that time. If you're comfortable and happy within yourself, then you'll be happy, or you'll be genuinely happy for others. But I think if you're going through a time in your life where not everything's going right, and you're going through a rocky road and bumpy patch, then when you look to someone else and you see that, oh, why did they get that? How come that happened to them? Then that's when I think, just depending on that situation that you're in, or the mindset that you're in at that time, I think that happens to a lot. And I'll put my hand up, like, you know, I've been one of those people. I genuinely think now that and with the place that I'm in my life, and the mindset that I'm in now, like, I'm genuinely happy for people to succeed, especially our people. Because again, my thing is, I hope that if our people succeed, that they pull the rest up, or they pull the next man up, next lady up, whatever it is, they pull, and we all just continue to keep a chain.
Because it takes a while to get like that, like to accept, like, I guess, people succeeding and being genuinely happy for people to succeed.
Well, let's take this. We can all speak on this too. Is like social media. Like, how hard is it to push a like button? Like, how hard is it to push? Like, if you genuinely like something, and then you look at who the person is and you didn't like them, like, I think that's a you problem. Like, you know, like, for me, that's I know it's social media, but something that I've tried to cut out. Is like, if I'm on social media and I see something that I like, from anyone like that I follow, I'll like it. Just to genuinely show, like, you know, that I've seen it and I acknowledge it, type of thing. Not that they care or whatever, but just for me mentally, it's like, at least I'm happy for, like, whatever they're going through at that time.
That's solid.
So for me, that's something that I've been trying to do constantly, and not only just social media, just like in general. If I see someone doing something special, like the brother here, I'll genuinely go and say, "Oh, congratulations," or like, you know, like, acknowledge them, just so that they know that, like, me as a person has said something to them and acknowledged them, and it's not like he's a hater type of thing. So that's, for me, that's what I see tall poppy syndrome as, and I know that it's like, I've been a part of, I've done it in my life, but I genuinely think at this present time and moment in my life, I think I'm good in regards to that tall poppy syndrome thing. But that's just in the situation that I'm in at the moment. So for me, that's what I think tall poppy syndrome is. What about you?
The way that I think about, like, first of all, tall poppy, what are they? I'm pretty sure they're a flower or a weed or something like that.
Poppies,
Anzac. And my understanding is that I believe they, like, compete for the sunlight, and to do so, you have to obviously overshadow some of the other ones underneath. So if I look, I think, quote me if I'm wrong. Or don't quote me if I'm wrong, but
there's no wrong answers.
When I think about that, I just think of, it's the likelihood to discredit someone, or something. And as we were saying, there's been times where if I reflect, there's been times where I won't want to like something, even though I think it's cool, because of a personal opinion or a personal feeling. Like there were situations where, you know, I might not had a great experience with someone at school, or like I felt like they were a bit mean to me, and like years later they might do something really cool, but like, you know, there's still that, they were a dick to me, and it makes me want to like discredit or take away. And I think I've had to really challenge myself on that in the last couple of years, specifically in like competitive environments where like if you actually have to work with those people, if you've got to collaborate, then there's no room for that stuff. There's no room for ego, and if you do have it, it kind of is a detriment to the whole team or the whole collective. In terms of my own experiences, I saw this, and this is not really my own original thought, but I absolutely agree with it. I saw this interview, I think his name is Sam Harvey. He's an ultra marathon runner, and he talked about this thing called famine mentality, and what famine mentality is like. Being in New Zealand, being such a like isolated place, you know, there's not a lot of money. There's there's not necessarily a lot of opportunity. We're a new country. I think we get into this habit where tall poppy can stem from like that person having more means that I get less, and I think especially for our Pacifica and Māori, who, who are already in neighborhoods and in situations where the system isn't helping them already. I think that's why it's so popular in our own cultures, because we're just kind of, it feels like we're fighting over scraps already. And so that's kind of the way I think about it. Being also European, I've definitely seen it in European spaces as well. I went to predominantly European schools, so I know for a fact it doesn't just it's not exclusive to certain races, but I just think it's something that we really need to redefine, and I think it starts in these conversations, making each other aware of it, or like, you know, even just having the conversation. So that's kind of how I think about it, bro.
I don't even know how I'm supposed to back that up, eh?
Well, let me just say one thing with this guy before you start. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who it was, but I remember one time just recently, and you had spoke to me and you said, "Nah, I didn't like that guy." Before.
Yeah, I'll give him a shout out,
But
actually.
then you actually said, "Nah," but that was before. But I've actually come to, like, you know.
Yeah, and you know, this
I
is
can't remember
no.
who was it?
No, I'll say this is no hate to the brother as well, but I believe his name's is it Christian Prescott? Is that his name?
Oh yeah.
So Sneaker Clean
Sneaker
NZ,
Clean.
like he's the man. I don't know him. I haven't seen him for years, but when I was in school, this is like I would have been like 15, 16. You know how like when you're young and you record memories a certain way, but then when you look back on them and as an adult, you're like, oh, that wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations. But basically, I was playing rugby at lunchtime or something, and I heard him. We're going to talk about mocking culture, but I heard him yell out something in the crowd, and it wasn't very nice. And it was something about just the way that I was playing, and everyone laughed in the crowd, and I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
I felt like my ego felt attacked, and I remembered that. And one thing about me is I'm a bit bitter. So like, you know, I might be nice to your face, but if you've done me wrong, then, or I feel like you've done me wrong, I'll remember it, bro. I remember it for years. And I've always been like that. So I guess this is an opportunity for me to be accountable, but like I just want to give Christian his flowers, because he started this amazing his own, I think he's an entrepreneur, so started his own company. I don't know much about him and his friends, but I know they talk about mental health. And so I just kind of want to give my flowers to him. Like something as simple as a small high school memory ended up turning into what it probably didn't need to turn into. And that was like, I guarantee he wouldn't even have remembered what he said. But you know, it's something that I remembered. So it's just one of those things where you got to step back and just acknowledge it and move on and forgive. And to be honest, there's nothing to forgive, but I need to do the journey myself.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the growth of maturity. Anyways, yes.
Tall puppy for me. Do you remember the video? Or not a video, but Adesanya when he won that. I think it was like a Halberg Award, and he did that speech on tall puppy syndrome.
Yeah.
I didn't know what tall puppy syndrome was until he explained it and said, like, there's always, if you succeed, there's always people below you trying to bring you back down. Like you succeed, you do well for yourself, there's always going to be people bring you back down. And like, I've been that person of seeing someone succeed, and I'm like, bro, how the fuck does he get there?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, what's he doing? I've been that person, and I've been that person who, I guess, does well for themselves, and then I get hated on. You know, so you see it from both ways. But his, like, I didn't really know what his speech was well, I didn't know what tall puppy syndrome was until he spoke about it. And like, bro, like it's so true. Like we see someone succeeding, and instead of giving them their flowers or pumping them up, like you were saying, like we have to bring them back down. But like back down for what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are we bringing them back down? Why can't we see them succeed? And like what Free said, like we're in a small country, and I guess I was listening to, I think it was the morning shift, and they were saying like over 90% of New Zealanders don't make over like, I think it was like $90,000 or $100,000.
Ah.
And so if you have like say 90,000 people like trying to, I guess, 90% of New Zealand trying to fight for, I guess, to be better, and I guess, or make money, because that's what we're all trying to do. You know, everyone's just going to be, I guess, haters and hating on people trying to be better, I guess, in a way. So,
do you reckon that's why? Like that's why we do it, because we want them to feel like how we're feeling.
Yeah.
Like, so we try to bring them back to like our level.
Yeah. Well, we feel shit. We want other, you know, we want to feel good about ourselves. So we have to bring fucking whoever's at the top, bring them down. Next, come take a seat next to me, brother. You know what I mean? So but like, I guess we've all been that person that I guess tries to succeed or tries to do better, and you get people try to bring you back down, and sometimes it's your own family. Sometimes it's who you thought were friends that bring you down, and it's crazy. Like even like I know we've talked about it, like with us starting this podcast. Yeah, like when I started it, I had people like, you know, sort of mocking me. Yeah, what are you gonna talk about? Yeah, like you're a dumb fellow from up north. You know what I mean? So, and that's cool. You know, you get family who, I got family who, you know, will see all my stuff. Oh, hey, I seen your thing, but like, they don't do anything to, I guess, help me or help this.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah, acknowledge it or anything like that. So, I guess that's what tall puppy. I guess how I see it, and yeah, it's I don't know how you could, like, because I think us as like as New Zealand, but it's not like you said, it's islanders and sort of Māoris, but you see white people, like, not white people, but Palangis do it as well. They see, you know, Māoris or Polynesian people doing well. No, back down where you belong, mate. You know, sort of thing. So, yeah, that's sort of, I guess, what I've witnessed or experienced with tall puppy. And like I've been that person, like I said before, I've been that person who's been a hater, but like I've only sort of like started to, I guess, be a person who's like be that person that's like, why am I hating? Yeah. Why can't I celebrate, you know, someone else's wins? But I've only like, it's taken time. Yes. Like it's not something you can just flick a switch and be genuinely happy for someone. Like it's taken time for me to, I guess, like, why am I so upset? Not upset, but like, you know, like, why am I hating on him or her that they're doing well for themselves? Like, it's like, what am I up to? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to check yourself sometimes.
Yeah, you got to check yourself sometimes. And like, it's like, and now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I see someone succeeding or one of my friends succeeding, I'll chuck it on my Instagram page or, you know, share it or like it or whatever. So
here's a question for both of you. What's the difference between tall poppy and bringing you down to earth? So like, or keeping you grounded. So like, you know how you have like you have people in your family or friends that can tell you like when you're thinking too much. Yeah. Boasting too much. Yeah. And then we got other people who may not be as close, but they're sort of like telling you the same thing. Is that, do you reckon they're similar? Yeah. Do you reckon they're the same? Or what's your take on?
Is it sort of like if you're like family trying to say, oh, you're getting ahead of yourself now, you need to humble yourself.
Yes. Is that tall poppy syndrome? Or is that bringing you back down to earth?
It depends where it's coming from, me.
Yeah, I feel like I have a way to distinguish it when I'm doing that, but like with other people, it's hard. So the first thing I want to bring up is like this idea of intention versus impact. So like I can intend to do well or to say something nicely. Yes. But it doesn't matter what my intention. It should matter. Yeah. But like if the person is listening and they're going to take it a certain way, then it's the impact that really matters. How a person remembers how you've made them feel. So the way that I think about it is, if you're reactive and you don't really think about the way that you respond, like if I see someone on social media or I hear someone say something, and inside my body just goes ooh or like nah, I feel like that would be tall poppy. Whereas like when I think about bringing someone back down to earth, I actually think about what's the best way to approach this. I feel like at the heart of everything, it has to be come of love. But if you've just reacted and like not really thought about anything or not really thought about the delivery, then I'd argue you probably don't care about the person enough. So that's how I would think about it in my head. But I understand that the way that I think isn't necessarily how everyone would or should. So that's a hard one in terms of when we're talking about others. Yeah. That's how I would think about it.
What about you?
I think you just answered the question.
Yeah. I think the same as like right message, wrong messenger. So like sometimes like you said with the thing, like you could be giving a good message, but the way you're giving that message, it might be aggressive, might be like that, like, and it doesn't, and that's how I see it, is it has to be the right message with the right messenger. To how you're coming across.
I feel like, because I guess when people say, like my mum for instance, she yells at me like, oh, why are you doing I guess helping me, or like in a way like, oh, why are you doing da 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 da, and she says it in a tone or with an attitude. Like, get away, you know what I mean? But like what you're trying to say, I feel like he hit the nail on the head with what he said. Like what was it? Thing over impact.
Intention versus impact. Yeah.
Intention versus impact.
Yo. Bro,
shout out to my mum. She taught me that.
Yeah.
So.
Hey.
Yo, that's mum.
And just want to do what Freedom done as well. Like just talk about how we do go through tall poppy syndrome. Again, and you know, like that was me in the past of like, you know, being a hater on others, but like what Brody said, like getting at a point in life now where like I'm genuinely happy for others. So, you know, like again, it's not an overnight thing, and it's not like a one day thing. It's a thing. I believe that's where you are in the point of your life too. What you're going through and how you're feeling is So at the moment, for me, I'm in a good place. So honestly, I can genuinely say that everyone around me, everyone that I see, and that is doing well, just try to acknowledge it. And not that they care, but just don't want to be a hater.
I've got a question. So I guess this we might not have any answers to this one, but I guess just for the listeners, if they're maybe not necessarily aware that they do participate in tall poppy syndrome, I guess what do you guys think is the first step to even being able to become aware of it? I guess it's caring, but it's you know, what do you think is a solution maybe to the problem in our society?
I think if you're one of those people that are hating, like take a look at it. Like take a look at yourself. Like why are you hating? Because I think you like. I think we all spoke about it as like, why are we hating? Like, what are we hating? Like, are we hating them? Are we hating what happened to them? Or are we hating ourselves that we want them to feel our pain or whatever it is we're going through? So for me, it's like, if like how I started getting through it is like, why? Like, why am I letting whatever it is affect my feelings? Person probably doesn't even mean anything to me. But again, like, you know what I mean? It's just like we see success and we're like, why isn't that me? Or why did that happen to them? So for me personally, it's just like how I see that if you're going through a tall pop, like if you're in it, you'll know by why. Like, why are you like that? Why are you feeling like that?
What makes you have to question their success?
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of
is it bothering you? Do they mean something to you? Or do you just not like them, or like whatever it is? So for me,
searching inward.
Searching inward first would be my thing, because there's obviously a reason why.
Absolutely.
You're not liking someone's success or whatever it is. So searching inwards would be the best thing for me.
Like what he said. I guess if you like the way you notice it is, you see someone succeeding and you're like, how or why are they succeeding, or why is it not me? You know what I mean? But I think you hit the nail on the head. With that, I think. But
what about you?
No, honestly, I think you guys nailed it. I think like where I've got into is like I'm quite far away from having children, but like the way that I think about it is there were things that I struggled with around these topics when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And my parents are ministers, so like their approach is always turn the other cheek.
Yes.
That's Bible terminology.
But like, for me, like I can hear what they're saying now, and as an adult, I understand varying that in the approach. But as a kid, I heard that and I was like, that doesn't help me. So I think what drives it now is like I care because I want to be able to help my family with that, and that's good enough for me. So I don't have a solution. I feel like you guys nailed it on the head.
Tall Poppy syndrome ticked.
Yeah, I reckon.
Anything else we want to add to that?
Stop being a hater, man.
Yeah, hard.
Stop being a hater.
Look inward.
Look inward.
It's hard, but look inward.
Be better.
Be better.
Yeah.
Do better and celebrate others.
Hard.
I think I guess a good kind of segue is sometimes how we can I guess participate in tall poppy syndrome is mocking culture.
Yes.
So I feel like I want you guys to drive this a bit more because, and I'll talk about it, but like when I was growing up, I wasn't really a mocker. I feel like more than anything, I was probably the one being mocked most of the time.
Yeah.
So this is not something that I feel like I can speak on confidently, but I can definitely add my bits. But yeah, what do you guys think about mocking culture in New Zealand? And I know you two are both mockers, so you guys might not want to talk about it because you might love it.
Mock it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a mocker. I love mocking in a way. I think you have to have a sense of humor. I mock to be funny. I mock to have a laugh. Some people mock to bully. Some people mock to try to get something out of someone. The mocking culture in New Zealand, like I said, you have to have a sense of humor, I guess. Doesn't matter who you meet. Mostly with Polynesians and Māoris, because Polynesians and Māoris try to be funny. The mocking culture doesn't work within Palangis because Palangis try to mock people. You might get a dong on the head. But the mocking culture, man, like... I don't know, it's not like I mock people, I mock people, but like I mock people to, I guess, have a laugh and to, I guess, like, especially when I meet new people, you gotta know who the person is to mock them, and you gotta know their boundaries, and you gotta know, I guess,
Do you have boundaries though?
what
I'm just asking, like, do you have boundaries when you mock?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Are you trying to say something?
I was just saying, like, like you have to know, you have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
You have to, I guess, know the person too, and like you said, the boundaries of that person. Because if you go too far, then you're obviously gonna upset someone. But you gotta know the person, their boundaries, and I guess what you're mocking them about. We mock each other every day.
That's the best part of my weeks most of the time.
I try
Actually,
and mock everybody, all my mates.
Yeah.
But there's a way, like, with us that we know how to take things as a joke. And you know when it's not a joke.
Yeah.
I think you can tell by, I guess, the message and the delivery, like you said, the
right message.
Yeah.
Wrong messenger.
Yeah. So in that way, but the mocking culture, it's very alive and well in New Zealand.
It is.
You come to Point Chevalier or around our group of friends, everyone's getting mocked.
Yeah.
hard.
And I feel like friend groups have to have a mocking culture. Like if you don't have a mocking culture in your friend group, your friend group's dry. Like it's dry. But yeah.
That's Well, I'll carry on from that. There's like one rule of thumb for me is you got to be able to take it
Yeah.
to give it.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
you can't be one of those guys that can give it. As soon as it comes back to you, it's like,
Bro,
what'd you say?
There's so much people like that. Like, there's so much people like, what?
Like, oh,
What?
yeah.
All good?
Like for me, my first thing of mocking is if you can't take it, then don't dish it.
Yeah.
Like don't dish it out. Like don't go around start mocking people and expect not to get it back.
Yeah.
So for me is like if you can't take it, then don't do it.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, mocking culture in this country is, I think, in our culture is well and live.
Yeah.
Again, you have to be comfortable with one another
Yeah.
before you start mocking each other. I feel.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable, say for example, if you're not comfortable with someone, but someone starts mocking you,
Yeah.
you sort of been like, who the fuck do you think you are, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing. So for me, it's like, there's got to be a stage in like your friendship or whatever that you get to where you're both comfortable with one another, that whatever you guys say, you automatically know it's a joke.
Yeah.
Unless you get to a point where it gets to a joke, and then, but what'd you say?
Yeah.
So for me personally, the mocking culture, I find that if you can't take it, don't give it. But you got to be at a point in your friendship or relationship, whatever it is, before you guys can start actually taking the piss out of one another. If you come straight off the bat from mocking, again, you might not know what they're going through. They might be going through something at that time. You don't know their situation, whatever it is. It could get bad. But again, if you know the person, like how we know each other and we see each other quite often, again, we're all comfortable with one another. So when someone says something and we decide to mock, it's because we're at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like when you meet someone, I think you got to get to that level before all of that starts. But again, mocking in this country is pretty similar to tall poppy. Like I think a lot of people, like you said, there's people that mock to be funny, and then there's people that mock to hide things, like hide what's really going on inside. And that's usually what they say. The funny people sometimes are the people that are hurting the most inside.
Absolutely.
Is because they're trying to hide and they're trying to give happiness out to others so that people don't know what they're going through inside. But the mocking culture is well, if you've seen the podcast with me and my little cousin Gabby, and like with me, Broads and Gabby, like the
whole time,
like that's all of us. That's me and all my cousins. We're all on that like level of mocking, especially when you're around like the boys. Like we've been at Point Chev, and the boys will be mocking one another, and we just go at each other like constantly. I think mocking is mocking banter.
I think it definitely is.
Yeah. So you know what it's like when we're doing con games or like anyone going at anyone. Like that's how competitive we are. Like, bro, we would give it to each other non-stop until one person if you're losing, you might as well just leave training straight away because you're just gonna cop a earful.
Don't walk back to the changing room. Don't walk back to the changing rooms.
But yeah, mocking culture is how could you say it? It's I think you can tie that in perfectly with tall poppy syndrome. Because sometimes we mock people to bring them down from, again, success as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's a lot of different ways that like you can mock people, and it's not just about telling jokes. You could be like, oh, that's your brother, or like that's you, or like something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's all sorts of ways of mocking, and it's not just mocking like teasing one another type of thing. It's it can come in all shapes and forms.
Hard.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
In terms of mocking culture, I think I believe it's in Will Smith's book. There was a kind of a thought or a theory that I got from that book, and it talks about like humor. I think the first thing I want to start off is humor is one of the best things in the world, in my opinion. I think in this context, it makes really harsh messages more digestible, and that's a really powerful tool when it comes to getting a message across or communication. I have an older brother that's an exceptional mocker, but I think he's mastered the way of doing it in a way that can kind of, I feel like it's an example where he can do so without necessarily attacking your identity or value as a person. And trust me, he can also attack your identity as well. He has the ability to do that. But I think back to Will Smith's point, Will Smith's book's point or whatever, I think the way I think about it is like in the Western world, their humor and their mocking is like they like everyone to come away from something unscathed. And because I'm European, I've learned to dive into both worlds. And then and I guess I can't speak for African American culture, but I feel like it's that way watching movies. But with our Pacific and Māori, someone's always the victim. And so when I kind of look at the variances between that, I've kind of learned to like adjust my humor and my chat and my banter based on who's around. Do I think that's authentic? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I think for me, as someone who kind of, I feel like I got mocked heaps as a kid, so I think I just kind of learned how to survive. Not necessarily like, I know, for example, I can dish out mocks to people I know, but I just prefer not to even start them.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather check in on people. That's like, you guys know that's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more serious, like, I guess a bit of a nice guy or whatever sometimes. But yeah, that's the way that I think about mocking culture. I think for me and how it links to Tall Poppy, I think it has been a problem in my life. Like when I went to uni, I didn't find the mocks funny. But as I've grown up and, as we said, you look inward, I think mocking can be an awesome tool that you use to connect with people on a deeper level. Yeah. Because not everyone, like especially our men, we don't want to just sit down and talk serious. Yeah. Like if I make something more digestible, if I make it more fun, the likelihood that person wants to be in the environment longer or come around again, like we're humans, we're designed to connect. So I think anything that becomes a connector should be able to enhance, should be able to improve or enhance our lives. And I think that mocking and humor can be that. I just think sometimes in NZ we kind of get the balance wrong. Yeah.
I agree with you with that part. Like sometimes we get the balance wrong. And in our culture, like you said, there's always a victim. And it's always going, like we're not like personally attacking them. Yeah. But we're attacking each other, like we're going tit for tat type of thing, as if it was a verbal fight, Yeah. But again, it's funny. Yeah. Funny to us. And like you said, we could use that mocking as an icebreaker. Like, if we just met someone that, like, we've known about, and we're like, hey, suppos, or whatever, and then say a joke. Yeah. It sort of breaks the ice and makes people feel a little bit, like you said, a little bit easier to take, like digestible, that you were saying. So it can be used in positive ways. Yeah. Again, it's making sure that both sides of the fence are are comfortable with one another. Yeah. And again, it's how you come across with your message to how the other person will take it, I think. If it's like straight off the bat. So that's the mocking culture is alive and well. I don't think they'll ever go away. Yeah. I don't think I don't think it's ever gonna die down, or and I believe it can be used in a positive way, but it can also be taken in a negative way too.
I think it will leave when Francis's Ledger's Rolls leave. So.
Oh, that's next week. I'm going to 7th. Yeah. So, bro, that's our mocking culture.
Yeah, mean. Some
mocking
good
culture.
Bits in there.
Tick.
Done.
Hard. Last one is dealing with injuries. We've all had injuries, so I thought this was a good topic. And I think what would be cool to kind of dive into essentially is maybe some tips or whatever for family who have family members that get injured. Maybe how to best support them from our experiences. So I'll start off with have you guys had any injuries? Well, we'll start off there.
Yeah.
Have you had injuries? What have you guys done?
Used to go because I've never had I've only had my previous proper injury. So.
Frick. What haven't I injured? I've torn my Achilles. I've done my ACL twice on the same leg. I've broken both hands at the same time. I've broken I've broken my ulnar. I've broken my collarbone.
Fucking hell.
Damn.
I've broken fingers. I've broken bones in my foot. And probably the major one that everyone knows is I've broken my neck.
What was the, I guess, the injury that was most mentally and physically challenging for you?
For me, the ones that are mentally and physically challenging for me are the ones where you're still able. Say, like last year's grand final when I broke my arm in the first half of the game, but carried on playing, and then didn't go to get it checked, obviously because we were celebrating. Yeah. So then when I got put in a cast, it's like I can do everything, but my arm's just stuck. Yeah. Like those are the ones that are physically and mentally challenging for me because I can do everything else, but just this one thing's restricting me from doing like everything 100%. Yeah. I know like the ACL and that's like those can be long term mentally challenging because obviously it's a long process. But because you already know you went through surgery, now you're, what's the word? you're not able to move.
Yeah.
So you just, you can't do anything. So
You
you're
can't
just
do anything.
content with that. So those ones to me, like my neck, my ACL, those ones for me are like draining because they're long mental battles. But the ones that are the most hardest to deal with for me personally is the ones where you're still willing and able to do things, but you just can't fully do everything. That makes sense. What about yourself? What injuries have you had?
I've had 3 to my memory. All of them have been bones. When I was younger, when I was getting into trouble, broke my hand, my knuckles. They're like still back here. Wannabe fighter. And at the time I was homeless, so when I tried to go get the cast, and luckily I was under 18, so it was free. I was sleeping in a bush at the time, and like it got dirty, so I ended up getting frustrated, angry kid, ripping it off, and it kind of like healed broken. They had to like re-break it, and then it didn't heal a second time, so I kind of just left it, and it kind of complicated writing for me when I was growing up. I'm right-handed, so I found it really sort of like grip a pen for too long. Like, so in exams, 3-hour exams, like English exams, I used to like honestly be one of the like last finishers because it would take me so long. I'd need like a 5-minute break sometimes, so that was a bit annoying. The second one was this one was probably like the most damaging to my mental health. Debuted against the Hurricanes, got named to play the Crusaders in the second week, and I broke my foot, my 5th metatarsal, which is the last toe. And
how?
I was just during training, bro. I like stepped into a pothole, and it like if you imagine like you're kind of stepping like that, it kind of I went in and like just all my weight kind of like crunched. And for me, what was hard is, I've already talked about this, but at the time, just found out I got catfished. Just played my first game in my dream job, and I feel like everything's being taken away from me. I get told I'm not going to play for the rest of the season. I've also got an injury cover contract. So when you're in that position, you're actually trying to earn a full one. So there's a lot of things going on, but they told me that they weren't going to put a screw in it. It ended up breaking again whilst it was still broken. So the process ended up being a lot longer, and when I came into preseason for the Highlanders, when it was healed, I was like real unfit. I was in what I think we used to call it the Pirates crew, which is like you guys got to do extras. But that one was really tough. I just felt like my world was kind of crashing down. And then the third one, bro, I broke my jaw. I got kicked in a ruck, and I've always worn a mouth guard, but I got kicked in the spot where it like doesn't protect, like just under the tongue, and it broke both. I think they're mandibles.
Damn.
Under here. So I've got like 2 steel plates in there now, and like, tough jaw now. Practically a cyborg. But bro, I was like ugly for like 2 months. I like looked like Buzz Lightyear, like no joke. So they had to operate on me that night. It was cutting off my air, oxygen. Yeah. So all from rugby, or well, the first one was fighting, but yeah, mostly just from physical force.
What about you, my brother?
I've never had any broken bones or anything like you. I've just had
touch wood.
Touch wood. Or anything like that. Had like fucking little injuries like hamstrings and that keep you out for a few weeks. But I've had one big one, which was my brain. I've talked about it before. Had a brain bleed earlier on in the year. Probably about like how long ago?
July?
Yeah, July. June. Back in June. So had my brain injury, had a brain bleed, played a game, ended up having a seizure on the field, and then was in hospital for about a week, trying to let my brain heal and let the blood flow back into my brain. Was lucky, very lucky to still be here, still be alive. Very lucky to not have to have had surgery, and lucky I didn't, I guess, end up in a coma. So yeah, that's a big one for me. Mentally, like I'm still going for it now. Mentally, I'm very like I think I'm in a good space. Where I think I'm very lucky because I still get to obviously train, run around, do gym. Whereas with like injuries like your guys, like ACLs and that, you can't do anything. So that's mentally draining. Whereas with this one, I'm able to still train, still run, do everything. I'm just not allowed to play, I guess, rugby league. And which today instance, was like, I think it finally hit me today, of like not being able to, like not playing.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching Tory Harris's some of his highlights, and then bro, like just hit me like a ton of bricks today. And I've been waiting for it to happen. Like mentally, I've been good through not playing, obviously being around the boys and that. But I've been good not playing. But today it just, it finally hit, and it hit good.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. Like obviously I have like obviously wouldn't call it, like I have things to keep me grateful, like obviously with my injury, where I know a guy on the same day had the same injury, but unfortunately, rest in peace to Teddy, lost his life. And then we also, I don't know him personally, but I know of him and his story, Adrian, who had to have surgery and will possibly never play rugby again. So I always look back on those and feel extremely grateful that hopefully I'm allowed to return back next year. So that's probably been my biggest injury.
Just one quick question on that. I was talking with Charles the other day, and we were saying, like, if those other two incidents didn't happen, do you reckon it would be a lot harder for you mentally because those two other injuries put your situation in perspective?
Yeah. Oh, wait, say that again?
So those other two, obviously, with Tere and Age.
Yeah.
Like, if those two, if it never happened to them two, and it just happened to you, and you're in this position now, do you think that it would be harder for you now because what happened to those two has put your situation in perspective? Yeah. You reckon it would be way harder mentally?
Way harder mentally. Like, that's always what I think back to is like, when I'm like watching training, watching the boys play is like, fuck, I want to play. But then I'm like, why aren't I playing? Like stuff like that. But then I'm thinking back like, fuck, it could have been worse. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it could, like I'm lucky to be here. Yeah. I'm lucky to be able to run. Like the little things I took for granted. But yeah, like you said, I think I probably would have.
You would have forced it, eh?
Yeah. Like it would have been like mentally challenging. Knowing, like the big thing is knowing I'm good to play. Yeah. But my brain's not. Yeah. Sort of thing. Like I'm 100%. Like if you tell me to go, we got a game tomorrow, fuck, I'm good to go. But my brain's not. And if I get another knock, who knows? I might end up, not here or back in hospital. So that's been, I guess, my big one. And yeah.
What's some ways you done to overcome it? Like what's some advice you could give to parents, to people who are actually injured, or just family and friends that may be like around to support? What's some advice you would give?
The first one is don't rip off your casts.
What's wrong with that, man?
Yeah, like don't rip off your casts because it can have lasting consequences. I think another thing is like on both of my surgeries, I refuse to take. I'm stubborn, so I refuse to take any other medication. Refuse to take any painkillers. Yeah, so like, it's funny. It's funny because whenever I've given advice like helped nurse some of my like grandparents and that, like it's funny when I'm saying no, you need to take your medication because I know when I was in that position, I was like, nah, that makes me soft, and I've had to really look inward and challenge that. But yeah, that'd be my first thing is like actually listen to the doctors and what they tell you. And trust the process. I know that can be really hard, and you might think, I know my body, I know me better than the doctor. But at the end of the day, I think well-being is the most important thing. Health is wealth. So that would be my first thing. And I think I also need to be transparent. Is like not only did I not take the medication, but I don't think I dealt with it very well. Any of those injuries, and so I don't think I can kind of sit here. And speak from first-hand experience necessarily, but yeah, I can definitely like suggest and that kind of thing. I don't know if that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, what suggest?
The first thing would be having like a hobby. So for me, those two injuries happen, I guess, during occupation hours. So two of them happened from sport, and I was doing the sport to pay my bills at the time. So my hobby ended up becoming my occupation, and when that occupation / hobby got taken away, I had like nothing to go to, and I felt like my world was crashing down. I didn't have anything to kind of balance me, something that we've talked about is like I wasn't really close with anyone back then. I was a hard out loner, so I had friends checking in on me, but I didn't allow them to actually check in on me. So it would be like having a hobby. A hobby could be reading, a hobby could be going to the beach, a hobby could be a dog or cooking or whatever, but I would just really suggest something to get you out of your head, get you out of your feels. Mine's now music. Sometimes it doesn't work. I listen to slow jams and it gets me more in the feels.
Nothing wrong with the slow
Yeah,
jams.
In the feels or in the mood?
Shush.
Both.
Those kind of come to the top of my head. But just like surround yourself with people. Don't isolate yourself. If you're injured and you don't want to be like a bother, you don't want people around. You don't want anyone to see you in a vulnerable state. I would actually really challenge that, and argue that like that's when you take away the opportunity for friends and family to bless you when you do that. And I think we've all given something to someone and made them feel good, and that makes us feel good. So I would just challenge people around those things.
I can speak firsthand on exactly what you said. Getting a hobby. When I done my ACL, me and my cousin Langi, shout out to my cousin, we got into CrossFit. This was, I think, 3 months after my operation. I could start bending my knee a little bit. They gave me a little bit of bend in my knee. So I had a knee brace. As you do, kept forcing the knee to be like bend. And then, got to a point, I think it was like 4 or 5 months after surgery that I actually went to CrossFit, me and my cousin. This is when CrossFit wasn't as big as it is now. And then that was my hobby. Kept me away from league, kept me away from being getting itchy feet. But not only that, it also helped, I believe, helped me in my rehab. Obviously, with CrossFit, there's a lot of body weight exercises and all of that stuff. So I feel like it strengthened my knee a lot faster than, I guess, the actual process of it. So come month 7, 8, I think it's 9 months process, 7 and 8, I was fully running by then. So like, and changing angles and stuff without any pain. But again, I made sure I got a hobby, and that was the only reason why I got a hobby was just to stay away from rugby league because I didn't want to get itchy feet. And we all know what it's like when you got an injury and you're around the boys constantly. It's like you want to play. I can vouch for hobby. Again, with support, and if you don't have a good support base around you, 100% guarantee you're gonna see some dark times. I'm not saying that if you do have good support, you're not gonna see dark times, but it takes the load. I was lucky enough with Charles and all my cousins, boys. Ards was a massive one for me. He just treated me like we were good, and it just so happened to be that when I broke my neck, he had done his ACL, so we were both going through injuries. So we just acted like we were normal people. I don't know if you know what a halo is. I think I've told the story. I had a halo and I still went out clubbing. Like I had this big jacket and I put it on and I would go out clubbing with like this big hoodie and I had like a little fur thing on the front. So me and I'd still like done stuff like we were normal, but again, like for me mentally, it was good for me. I don't know how good it was for my recovery or my rehabilitation, but I find that if you got good, happy, positive endorphins running through your body, I think it speeds up the process of your injury. I believe. So if you're ever in a place of if you're ever injured, or if you know someone that's injured who's sort of trying to isolate themselves, but I would suggest like checking in on them. Like even if they say don't come over, like go over. Even if they say leave me alone, just make sure that like even if you're just there and like in the same room, sometimes even that's enough. So again, when they say nah, I'm all good, just like oh, we know you're not all good. Just check in, go over, do something, whatever it is, because we know that they're gonna need it. And again, my thing is like when you said don't cut your cast off, don't mess with me and this guy laughed because that's what happened last year. I cut my cast off, but again, I still get complications now. Like sometimes I can use my hand and like I could be holding something and then it'll just drop, and that's and I believe that's pain from my from my arm because cutting the cast off and playing. So again, like we say, we always know our own body and whatnot, but again, these guys are professionals for a reason. These guys do stuff for a reason. They're not doing things to obviously stop you from doing stuff on purpose.
Mm.
Again, it's for our own good. So like you said, trust the process and yeah, don't be a bot and not take medication as well.
Hard.
Hey, hey.
Well, it works. Proof is in the pudding.
What's some advice and tips you would give?
Yeah, like you said, find hobbies. I think mine was a bit different because, like what you said, like when finding hobbies is in like, yeah, what you guys said, but it was a bit hard for me because I couldn't drive anywhere. I wasn't allowed to drive. I wasn't allowed to, well, I'm still not allowed to drive. If you see me, you didn't. Like I wasn't allowed to drive. Everything, yeah, my mind just went blank, sorry. Yeah, wasn't allowed to drive. But yeah, find hobbies. I was just like, because I was stuck at home. I was lucky my little brother was on ACC as well.
Yeah.
So I was lucky for him. Like we'll just go around, drive, go get coffee at the beach or something like that. Go get a coffee.
Who drove?
Him.
Oh, okay. That's
Nah, bro. He, like my family were like real thing. I'm like, bro, because I'm like, nah, I'm all good. I can fucking drive. What he's on about? Nah, you ain't drive, bro. My little brother was like, bro, you ain't fucking driving. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, find a hobby. Whether it's just going 5-minute walk or something like that, getting out of the house, getting away from, I guess, where you're situated, getting out of the house. Yeah, my big one for me was when I was back home was getting out the house, going for a walk or going to the beach and getting coffee and stuff like that with my brother. So another one, hobbies. Even when I was down here, just trying to like I'm still in rehab now. Like just training, like find something that I guess gives you purpose. Not just like I guess like hobbies that you would normally do. Try do something out the ordinary. Like for me, as a hobby, like we started a podcast.
Yeah.
And sis, and the reason why like we done it like was because I was like I was going through like rehab and I wasn't doing anything. So he's like, yeah, this is a good time to start it. So yeah, finding hobbies, I find that through training and gym and stuff like that. And what Sis said, have a good support crew. Like I'm pretty lucky. I had my family, my mum, my parents, my mum, my old man, his family, and my siblings. But like support crew, like I'm really grateful for Sis too. This guy here. I'll give him his flowers. But now really grateful for him because he knew what it was like being. When I was in hospital, he was there every day, from the time I went in to pretty much the day I left. He was there every day. Funny story actually. Like I was like, "Oh, are you coming up?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll be up soon." I go, "Oh yeah, sweet. You can take me for a walk." And he goes, "Are you allowed at the bed?" And I go, "Nah, but we're going for a walk. We're going for a walk. I'll chuck me in the wheelchair and then we'll go for a walk." And he goes, "Yeah, sweet." Anyways, we go down to the bottom. We end up walking out the doors. We walk out the doors, cross the road, way down to this cafe. Got a coffee and everything like that. And then, bro, we come back and my mum's like, "Oh, where'd you go? Just down to the top, to the bottom and back up." "Oh no, we went down the road. We went down the road to a cafe." I don't think you're allowed to leave the hospital. But yeah, having like finding, like checking in on people, and that's what he done with me. That's why I'm really grateful for him. But yeah, like just checking on someone, especially if they're going through like a long-term injury, because it can be mentally and physically draining. So
yeah. Can I just say one thing? You're gonna have your dark days.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like you're gonna have your dark days, and don't think it's just only you having those dark days. Like one thing that like even like me now, like some days like I just like I'll come to training and then like I'll go home and then like I'm meant to be doing stuff, but sometimes I just feel like, but I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go outside. And then me now as like just embrace it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do anything, don't do anything.
Yeah.
Then just stay at home and then just chill. So I'll just stay home and then chill.
Yeah.
But then there's some days where like you're upbeat and you got a lot of energy, so you like just embrace that stuff.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to say is like you're gonna go through those. You're gonna have those days. Is just embrace it. Like if you don't feel like doing anything for that day, then don't do anything for that day. Don't think you're useless. Don't think you're just don't start thinking negative stuff. Just embrace it. Like if you feel like staying home and resting, just stay home and rest, and then see how you feel the next day. Because I found that for me, once I started embracing days and how I'm like and my feelings, then it started making me like enjoy and embrace the journey and also enjoy the journey rather than fighting emotions and stuff that usually I'd go through day. So
nice.
Yo.
That was good. But a quick question: are some of those days at 5 o'clock in the morning where you don't come to the gym?
Hey, believe it or
I want to
not,
know.
I'm awake. I'm awake.
This is for Kale. Me and Kale are tying the steel for the concrete pour.
Oh,
So that's why we miss training. So
I'll tell you what, they're not pouring, they're snoring.
bro. Well, straight up again. I think it's been a good chat, and we've touched on a couple of good things, and again we've spoken our pieces. What do you guys?
I reckon one question to finish us off, and we'll make it 1 point. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night.
Right.
Okay. What would be your number one piece of advice to family members, siblings, wives, or partners, whatever, husbands, if their significant other or their family member was injured? How could they best support someone who's injured?
Ooh. My one would be.
Or go to a different one.
Okay.
Or go different one.
I'll go first because I'll get one out of the way.
Yeah, go.
Checking in. Again, like we spoke about it, sometimes we can push those that are closest to us away the furthest. Because we don't want to look vulnerable, we don't want to look weak, we don't want to be a burden. But again, I find that these are the people that care about you, that love you, that will do anything for you, and again, will not question anything that you have asked or want them to do. So I feel like for me is just if I'm the significant other and my partner is injured, did you say partner or
anyone,
family member? Family member or someone that's injured, is I'll go over there. I'll go directly to them and make sure straight away, like, can I get you anything? No, actually I wouldn't. I'll go over there and I'll take them stuff.
Yeah, hard.
Because again, if I was to ask you, I guarantee you both he's nah, I'm all good. But if I was to take something, then what? You can't say anything. So
you can't say no.
Exactly. You can't say no. And if you do say no, I'm gonna leave it there. You probably can't move anyway. So yeah, for me, that's what I'll do. Like I'll go over there and I'll take something, and then even if I was just in the same room, whatever, I'll just chill. And then if a conversation sparks, a conversation sparks. If a conversation doesn't, and we're just sitting in amongst each other's presence, then so be it. That'll be me.
So chicken?
Yeah, chicken.
Yeah.
Like forcefully chicken.
My one would be just quick. Understand that with every injury, I think the person who's injured being frustrated with themselves is like all a part of it. So with that in mind, I think my piece of advice to family members or partners would be like not underestimating the value of simple presence, like literally just being in a room silent, or like, because I feel like, especially if you can feel your partner is angry with themselves for their injury, I think sometimes you just think, I'll give them space, but actually they have to sit alone in that, and if they're injured, most of the time they're immobile, they can't actually move. So I would say not underestimating the power of your presence, and even just if they are a little bit grumpy, just maybe understand it, like just sitting through that with them. I think
my one would be just get them out the house. Whether it
get
be
them out the hospital.
Even if you're in a house. Even if you're in a robe.
Yeah. Bro. I look like I was, like my hair was just like all over the place. And hospital clothes, just with a blanket over me, freezing. It's getting pushed down the street. I'm like, fuck, I look like a recovering crack addict. But my one would be, getting them out the house. Whether it be, like going for dinner, whether it be going for a coffee, going for a walk to the park, or just whatever, just getting out the house. There's nothing worse than staying home all day. And you never know, it might make their day just going for a walk and chatting and stuff like that. So simple, but try to get them out the house.
Effective.
Yeah.
Underestimate just a cup of coffee. Going somewhere and buying a coffee, we underestimate.
Even if it's a walk to the backyard.
Have to.
Cup of tea in the backyard, mate.
Yo.
Very good.
Yo.
Anyways, That us?
Mean Brothers, that's
Yeah.
on. Yeah, that was on.
That's all.
That was, I guess, our thoughts and opinions on those three subjects: tall puppy syndrome, mocking culture in New Zealand, and injuries.
Injuries.
Like we say, that's only our opinions
Yes.
and our perspective. You may have different opinions or perspective, and that's cool. These are just ours. Elaborate more with me, please.
Yeah.
Also,
let me just say our aim and our goal for
Sorry.
well,
This is perfect. I was going to say the same thing. I was like, damn, it's still mine.
yeah, our aim and our goal for this segment of Chat Time of the Month is just to spark conversation. If you don't know how to talk about something, hopefully, like if you don't know how to talk about any of these subjects or topics that have come up, hopefully this sparks a conversation.
Hard.
Not only with your partner, maybe family members or friends or whatever it is. That's our aim and that's our goal. I know that our last one that we done, we got some good feedback from it, which is it was awesome to hear.
Hard.
And it was and that's exactly what it done. It sparked a few conversations. It sparked a few people talking about I guess subjects, especially in regards to the relationships and stuff. I think our last one done its role and done its job, and I think for us we can only get better at doing what we're doing. But again, like as soon as what Brode said, this is only our perspective, our opinion, and like we said, you either agree, you can disagree, or you might have a totally different opinion to us. But yeah, our aim is just to spark a conversation or a question, to hopefully lead others into being comfortable and talking about whatever it is they may want to talk about. Did you want to say anything before we wrap it up?
Yeah, maybe just feel free to connect with us about it too.
Yeah.
We love this is a community. So like I said, if you think otherwise, we'd love to hear it too.
Yeah.
It's all part of it. We're all in this together. So just want to say thank you for your support and for your feedback and your interactions with us. They've made my life the last couple of months definitely enhanced. These conversations are enhancing. So yeah, just a big shout out to you guys.
Oh, good. That must be us then, boys.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Catch you on the next one.
Let's go.
Put it on that beat. Go.